Sailors on HMCS Margaret Brooke are responding to an emergency announcement. A fire in the engine room on board the Arctic icebreaker.
Last cycle, okay?
This is a drill, one of several held without warning every week on the Navy vessel to keep these sailors on their toes. The crew spends months at sea, patrolling the Canadian Arctic.
It's definitely a different and unique way of life.
Even for seasoned sailors, the Arctic feels cut off from the outside world. Limited internet or phone means little contact with loved ones back home.
It's always difficult leaving home for an extended period of time.
The ship's executive officer has a 20-month-old son.
In this picture, probably was taken in April or so.
He spent the past 2 months away at sea.
I'm a new dad, so it adds kind of a new perspective to it, a new side to things going away.
Now, the Margaret Brooke is part of a new class of Arctic patrol ships, some of the biggest ships to be built by the Canadian Navy in 50 years. It's 100 meters long, there are 8 decks here, but it can still feel at times like a little bit of a tight squeeze. So for that reason, there are plenty of spots on board where sailors can stretch their sea legs. From the lounge to the gym. There's also a doctor's office treating a range of ailments, including the most common, which we experienced firsthand, seasickness.
There are some people that are just chronic seasick.
Here we go. Floodgates will open.
Stephen Clark is in charge of morale. He says one of the most important rooms is the cafeteria.
Definitely on the ship, morale runs through the galley.
Offering a different menu every day of the week.
Especially on this type of operation, there's a bit of a Groundhog Day right now.
We got nachos for the table.
Just anything to do something a little different to break up the monotony in the daily routine.
Number 3, type of pasta that takes its name from Italian little worms.
That includes trivia night, crib tournaments, and the fan favorite, Sundays on Sundays, served by the ship's senior officers. A tasty tradition, except when the commander accidentally mixes up the caramel with the barbecue sauce. For the ship's 65 sailors, far from home, the crew feels like a second family, living and working together to navigate one of the most remote regions on Earth. Jeff Semple, Global News, on board HMCS Margaret Brooke.